How to execute a content marketing strategy. Along with SEO, content marketing is a very important part of modern marketing. When you combine these two concepts, if your execution is flawless, you can make your website an unstoppable force. If you make a content marketing strategy and keep search engine optimization in mind, your brand will be able to make the most out of any digital campaign. These kinds of strategies are often called integrated strategies because they bring two powerful concepts together. When SEO meets content marketing. When a customer of a certain product or service has a question, they immediately jump to a search engine and enter the question in the search bar. The likes of Google then find a website that can answer that question. When you are trying to capture that segment of your customers, you have a chance to reach them directly by optimizing your content. This is about giving them the right information at the right time. That is how search engine optimization and content marketing come together and benefit your brand. The execution process. This has a few simple steps. Once you put them in place, you will be able to take full advantage. Here's how it works. Step 1. Figure out your audience. Optimizing your content is all about making it easy for the user to find the products or services they want. So, you need to start by identifying who these customers are. Once you do that, you will be able to create the kind of content they are looking for. You need to identify your present customer base. Finding out who they are will point you towards data on what they like and what more they are expecting from your brand. This kind of data is both qualitative and quantitative. So do your research on age, gender, purchase history, and engagement with your website or brand. This gives you a rough description of your average existing customer. The next data point is to identify your competition. See what your demographic is looking for in your competition and why they are seeking those brands out. Step 2. Define yourself. Figure out current topics of discussion and create content accordingly. Make sure you speak like a voice of authority on the subject. If this requires more work and research, invest resources in it, because in the long run, you will see great results. Step 3. Do your keyword research. You know what this is all about. Step 4. Create great content. Once you have the unique content topic and the keywords that will help you reach the audience you are targeting, you must take the content beyond your blogs. You might even want to consider expanding the website to contain long-form content, like white papers and ebooks. Videos are a big part of the SEO game. Step 5. Update your content. The final step is to stay on top of your content game. This is possible by updating content that is relevant long after it is published. You know that updating headlines and descriptions along with the keywords and tags is useful. 10 SEO best practices. When you discuss best SEO practices, white hat SEO and black hat SEO are two terms that you will hear a lot. White hat techniques are those that help give your website goodwill in the eyes of search engines through good practices. Black hat techniques are basically the opposite. When you try cheap gimmicks to fool the search engine, you create ethical concerns and risk getting penalized by search engines. Number 1. Keyword placement. When you have a good set of keywords, it is natural to want to use them more often to get traction for your content. You already know not to overdo it, but you must also make sure that the main keyword is placed at the top of the content. This is because Google likes to see high-value keywords right on top, like in the first line. Number 2. Search intent. Then there is the term called search or user intent, which analyzes the reason behind each query. This is Google's priority, because when they know why a user wants to know something, they can find the websites that answer the question with those parameters in mind. So if you want to be on the first search results page, this is what you need to crack as well. Number 3. Page speed. The speed at which your web page loads is not just a matter of convenience for your user, but also an important SEO practice. This wasn't always the case, but in today's market, if you have a slow-loading page, your users will run like they are on fire. Search engines don't like recommending such pages to their users. Number 4. Use HTTPS. If you don't know it already, HTTPS makes your web page more secure. This is because the data exchange between the server and the user is encrypted when your website is secured with the HTTPS protocol. You can verify this by looking at the URL in the loading bar of the browser and seeing if there is a lock icon there. Number 5. Avoid duplicate content. I have mentioned this briefly when talking about keeping the content on your website unique, but this is what Google looks for. It says very clearly that the website should not have duplicate or near duplicate content on different pages of your website. Number 6. Optimize your images. Adding images is a great way to break textual content on a page. But if they are not optimized, they will take forever to load and even slow down the overall page speed. This brings you back to bad user experience. You have certainly spent a lot of time picking the right images for the content you created. Number 7. Insert relevant hyperlinks. I have discussed link building wherein other websites link to your content, but you might also want to think about doing the same. It is normal to think that it might drive traffic away from your page, but it is an integral part of SEO strategy. When you link back to authority pages that have relevant information and are trustworthy, you give the visitor good information. This makes your website a place of valuable and quality information and helps with ranking. Number 8. Use your keyword research. You know that this is an important part of making sure your website gets visibility with the search engine. You want to create content that is consumed, and for that, you need to use the words that your customers and potential customers are using to find your products and services. Number 9. The Google Search Console. This is a great way to understand how your site is performing on the search engine results page. This is like a dashboard for your website and is incredibly helpful with SEO. It comes with many features like reports on 3 of the most critical factors: performance, enhancement, coverage. Number 10. Long-form content. This has gone out of fashion because people aren't reading long-form content as much as they want to. But the truth is, long-form content has a better chance of ranking higher on Google. There is plenty of research to show that the top-performing pieces are long-format articles that have more than 3,000 words. Advanced tactics. Learning about the best practices is a way to get in the game and stay there. But over time, you need to build on those learnings so you can take it to the next level and edge out the competition when it comes to running digital campaigns. That requires employing a few advanced strategies. Number 1. Build topic clusters. This is about a cluster of content that is created from a main theme. You create a variety of topics as subcategories and link to the page with the main theme. This means you have one umbrella topic and many other pieces under it, so that your readers who are interested in that topic stay on your site for a longer period of time till they get all the information. It also gives you the opportunity to place hyperlinks of these pieces among themselves as related topics. Number 2. Do an SEO audit. The other way to improve your SEO is to audit your website. This helps you understand the link between sales and search traffic. You can hire experts to help you out, but if you understand the base logic, you will be able to do it yourself. Audits are a systematic way of understanding a concept or an event. Typically, this word is associated with financial stuff, but it's a real thing in the world of SEO too. It helps you engage your existing customers while attracting new ones. When you perform an SEO audit, you analyze the performance of your website on the whole and create goals and strategize for the future. This helps you increase your profits by fixing any problems or gaps you might have with the existing content on your website. Number 3. Look for journalist keywords. These are keywords that journalists use when they are looking for data. Not to burst your bubble, but journalists often use Google to look for specific statistics to embellish their articles. When you use the keywords that they are likely to use, you give your website an excellent chance to be backlinked in their pieces. When you catch the eye of a journalist from a reputed publication, you get a link back from a high-quality web page. Number 4. Work on internal linking. This is an underrated SEO technique that you can take advantage of. When you link pieces from your own website, you signal to the search engine that you have useful information elsewhere on your website. This is an opportunity for the search engine to discover new content, which is a huge factor when it comes to ranking your website. Number 5. Use dynamic parameters. You need search engines to crawl your web pages easily so that they can be indexed well. So you need to use pagination, which is a process of spacing your content out across multiple pages. This is usually used to divide products on e-commerce websites. How to measure and track SEO results. Whether you are using Google Analytics or some other service, you need to keep track of how your SEO strategies are working. This gives you the chance to see which tactics are right for your content and what needs to be done about the strategies that are not working. Do you need to tweak it or abandon it and go in a different direction entirely? The answer to these questions lies in data crunching. Once again, you can hire an SEO expert who will break it down to you, but it is not that difficult. Number 1. Organic traffic. The first one is to identify how you are doing in terms of organic search traffic coming in from search engines. These are the results a user gets when they type in a certain set of words into the search bar. The number of visitors your site is getting from this is the first thing to learn. This is because it is targeted. They are looking for a specific detail, and if you have the answer, you should be ranked high enough to cater to their needs. Number 2. Quality of SEO traffic. The best way to determine whether the traffic you are getting is quality traffic or not is to check the increase or decrease in the conversion rate. This means you need to inspect whether the people coming to your site are buying your product or service. If they are new users, are they getting converted into paid customers? There are several tools that can tell you if and when this is happening. Number 3. Keyword ranking. Once you optimize your website, you will be able to track the results for long tail and specific keywords. You can do this by doing a simple Google search for those keywords. Your best case scenario is to rank on top of the page, which is what a quarter of people click on in the SERP. Number 4. Identify slow loading pages. This is often ignored, but if you look at the time it takes for your web pages to load, you will know if that is what you need to work on. If it takes the page longer than 1 to 3 seconds, you are out of the game. The page speed is a big factor when it comes to Google rankings, as mentioned before. Number 5. Engagement metrics. There are many metrics that teach you about user behavior. Here are some popular ones. Time on page, also called dwell time. This is the amount of time visitors are spending on a particular page. If they are spending very little time on a long format piece, you know that they are not reading it. Pages per visit. This tells you how many pages a visitor has gone through, which tells you how engaging the content has been. So you can make changes to the content accordingly, or leave it as is. Bounce rate. This is the rate of visitors leaving a page without browsing it. It tells you whether visitors are finding the quality of content engaging or not. So, be sure to read the data, but also use your own judgment to understand what the numbers are saying. Conclusion. The things you might not know about search engine optimization could fill a book. Well, it's true. So first of all, congratulations on making it to the end. In this book, I have tried to talk about all the things that make a search engine like your website. From what SEO is to its importance to every kind of website, the fundamentals have all been laid out. You have also learned extensively about terminology and what it means to engage in good and bad practices. You've learned about the penalties if you don't play by the rules, and the rewards when you do. You have also learned about shortcuts and why it is a good thing to avoid them. You have even looked at advanced tactics and how simply they can be implemented. Now, a lot of this can be outsourced to professionals who know a lot about the tools that can get all of this and more done quickly and efficiently. But if you can spare the time and do this in-house, you can divert those resources to more creative endeavors that are at the heart of your operations. When you get that high ranking on SERPs as you dream, you gather a lot of eyeballs and might turn them into loyal customers for a lifetime. And that stuff cannot be bought, oftentimes not even with paid advertising.